Okay, welcome to our first edition of talk.podzone.net, and I have with me here today George Nassif, and I'm William Minold, and so we might as well just get right into this. How are you today, George?
I'm doing real well. I've had my green machine juice drink and basically eating, I've had a couple of meals today, so I'm feeling energetic.
So very good. We've been talking on the phone the last few weeks about issues of the day and health issues and stuff like that, so I just thought it'd be time to record a podcast and get it out there.
That's a great idea. I think it'll help a lot of people. I've noticed that since we joined our website, getting a lot of people just clicking that they like what's being talked about, and I'm just amazed at how many links I'm getting as I'm looking on Facebook here. And
on the Hungry for
Change website. Now that video is going to premiere on the 21st, and today's the 19th, so I really urge anybody to just type in www.hungryforchange.org and take a look at this page. Sign up for the video so they can view it. Premiere is going to be on the 21st for about a week. They'll be able to log in and take a look at it. And I've ended up gaining a lot of friends through that website. Posted a few things, you've posted a few things, and I'm getting a lot of encouragement from people.
Yeah, I'm gonna post tomorrow because I'll be 3 weeks into my diet change, so I'll let my news out tomorrow of how well I've done in the first 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, I think everybody's anxious to hear because they keep cheering you on and cheering me on as I've been on this program. And really, what happened to me is I just had a real awakening with my health deteriorating just almost over a month's time. Everything started falling apart, and I was told by my doctors that they didn't have a whole lot of treatment for me. I'm just going to have to heal myself, because that's really what it boils down to. You've got to take the initiative to change your diet, change your habits.
No one's going to do it for you.
Exactly. The doctor said, I can lower your blood pressure with medication, but I can't help you lose weight. That's something you have to do, and you have to make up your mind to change your lifestyle. And that's what I did. I got to the point where I decided I want to live. I don't want to carry this weight any longer, and I don't want to be tired and in pain all the time. And I decided, that this is really a life or death situation, and I was in the ER. I actually arrived at the emergency room with my blood pressure 198 over about 155 or something, and they said, "Dude, what did you do?" Well, as it turned out, my body's just got a clock inside that's ticking. It tells me that you're overdoing it. You're eating too much or whatever. Your blood pressure's crazy because of stress in your life. You got to stop what you're doing and reverse it.
Well, I think there's a couple other movies that are related to the Hungry
for Change
video, and that one I watched, I think, was called Fat or Dead, something like that. What's that one called?
Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead.
Yeah, Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead. Now I wasn't that much overweight to begin with. I'm 6 feet tall and was 200 pounds.
Right.
So, but still, that gives you a belly, and I was just into cake, cookies, ice cream, chips, and candy from my snacks, and KFC, Burger King, Carl's Jr., McDonald's, and In-N-Out for my food. So, even though I'm active, I wasn't getting any nutrition, so I felt myself, always craving and always tired. So the only thing I really did is I didn't become a juicing fanatic, because I didn't need to do that, but I haven't had anything junk food for 3 weeks now, and there's 3/4 of my plate is always fruits and vegetables.
That's great.
And it has made a big, big difference.
Well, I think what's important, though, is that we learn how food is manufactured. And we have to understand the USDA has put all these requirements on fast food chains that their food has to be sterilized. It goes through a process where it's pre-cooked before you ever order it. It comes in frozen and pre-cooked in most of these places. And frozen foods that are manufactured have to have a shelf life that's sustainable in the restaurant. That they have laws in California where you cannot allow any cooked food to sit around more than 4 hours because it starts to be in the process of deterioration and all kinds of interesting things. Bacteria begins to grow.
Right.
So the only way they could do that is that they've done, you've heard about pink slime that the restaurants use in their hamburger meat. It's basically nitrogenated meats. And knowing people that have worked at these meat packing plants, that all this stuff, in order to sterilize it, it's nitrogenated. And then it gets recolored, because if it gets a little bit too, pale looking, it doesn't look good in the meat department, so they colorize it with the red dye. And you can look at meat and you can tell, oh, it's getting kind of brown. Why is it brown around the edges? Well, because it's sitting out in the oxygen. It begins to grow bacteria. And it's not looking good, so they discount it. Oh, we'll sell that meat for a couple dollars a pound less. But in my health situation, I had so many issues. I had become diabetic. I had become to where my colon wasn't working right any longer. I had infections going on, enlarged liver, enlarged spleen. I had enlarged heart, congestive heart failure. And I wasn't even that huge. I mean, I weighed, I got on the scale and didn't realize all of a sudden I weighed 250 pounds, which is crazy. I'm 5'8". That's insane to weigh 250 pounds. I don't know where I was putting it.
That's a little heavy unless you're a 25-year-old linebacker.
Yeah, well, I'm not playing football. It's not all muscle, I guarantee. So I learned very quickly to quit eating the meat, and the doctor said stop carbohydrates and get your blood sugar down and see if we can beat this diabetes. So he said, I want you to do the DASH diet to start with. 2 fruits 15 minutes to 20 minutes before a meal. And he said, if you have an apple and an orange, because they got plenty of fiber, and they're going to make you feel full, you're not going to need much for your lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever you're eating. You're going to make half. Just cut your meals, whatever your total thing is, just cut it in half.
Your total calorie intake?
The lower the calorie intake, he wanted me to lower it to about 1,200 calories a day, which is pretty low.
That's very low.
And I wanted to do it.
That's pretty drastic.
Well, it's got to be drastic if you want to lose 2 or 3 pounds a week.
I'm trying to hit between 1,600 and 1,800 a day.
Well, the thing is, if you want to lose a pound, you've got to burn 3,500 calories to burn a pound of weight off your body. It doesn't matter if it's, fat weight or muscle weight. You have to burn 3,500 calories to burn a pound. In order to burn a pound in a week, you got to take 3,500 calories out of your diet. So figure out what you're eating. Just write everything down what you're eating for a few days, which I did. I made a list of everything I put in my mouth. I didn't pay attention to it at first because I just wanted to count what do I eat, and put a calorie content next to it, which blew me away. It was around 3,500 calories. Well, if you eat 3,500 calories and you burn 3,500, you're going to stay the same weight.
Right.
Now, the only way to lose it is to eat fewer calories. So I knocked it way down. He said, I want you to lose 2 pounds a week. That means I got to take 7,000 calories out of my diet, whatever I'm eating in a week.
I'm losing 2.5 pounds a week.
That's great. Then you've probably done exactly that.
By changing my diet, yeah. Well, a pound in calories, because I'm only really trying to eat about 700 calories less a day, which by your measure, in a week, that's 3,500 calories. Well, I think I'm getting my other pound. See, I base my 700 calories less of what I should be eating for my weight. I was eating way more than that. I was eating way more than 2,200 calories a day. I was eating some days 4,000 calories a day, which put on my weight, which was putting on weight. So I know I've cut out, 1,000 calories a week just by the way that I eat, plus what I should eat from my size is another 3,500 calories, is why I'm able to take off and up my exercise a little bit. I think is why I'm losing 2.5 to 3 pounds a week.
I think it's real important to learn what you're putting in your body. I talked to a friend last night on the phone that went through similar problems that I have, and he found himself just always exhausted, always tired. Everybody's basically stressing him out. He's got, sick stomach and everything. He began to go vegetarian also. He began juicing. He began to exercise more and very quickly started losing the weight. Now, I know I've lost about 32 to 35 pounds. I didn't really get on the scale the last few days, but I could tell how clothes fit that everything's looser. I took a walk yesterday and I was constantly pulling up my pants, and I realized, wow, these are right out of the dryer, fresh, and I thought they'd be tight or whatever. And they button easily, and I'm finding myself down a couple of pant sizes.
That's very good.
And that's how you measure stress in your life. How big is your belly? So you know how much stress is because you're basically looking at the size of your waist. So my doctor said, I don't care how much you weigh. I want you to measure your waist now, and I think at the time it was 40 inches. And I want you to keep about once a month measure your waist. I want to see it come down about an inch every month until it settles at about 32 inches. So I said, well, I haven't been 32 inches since I was 23, 24 years old. I used to run 6 miles a day, and I weighed 160.
So you have what you're telling me is you have 32-inch waist around your belly button?
Well, that's what he wanted me to
look
for. Now, I started out, I had a 40-inch waist.
Because Lisa just measured me, and I'm 37.
37. Yeah, the typical, you could probably get down 36 without any trouble, because you're taller, but the whole idea he wanted to say is you're not made to be this big. You're kind of your enlarged organs are telling the story. Something's wrong in there. You got toxic things and you got inflammation. And when you start having cysts in your kidneys and cysts in your, different organs in your body, then it's telling you that there's something in there it's trying to protect you from. So your body makes a little capsule around it and keeps that thing in place so your body doesn't have to deal with it. And normally it would just flow through your blood system and go through your liver and your spleen and everything and come out normally, just process.
Right.
But when it gets toxic and when you get inflammation, then it's contracting the blood flow and it doesn't go anywhere and it gets stagnant. So I learned a little bit about Eastern medicine and Oriental medicine where they call the energy through your body, it flows through your blood, and they call it Qi, Qi. And they take your pulse on both arms at the same time. You'll find them holding both of your arms and they'll feel the strength of your pulse and decide, is your blood flowing correctly through your heart and lungs and body, and do you feel the pulse of the arms? And if it's weaker in one arm or the other, that tells them certain things about your organs. And they take a look at your tongue and they say, well, that tongue looks kind of pale and it's also a little scalloped on the edges, and they said your spleen is not right. There's a problem in your spleen. So they treat you with acupuncture, and they treat you with massage, and they treat you with herbs and things for that specific purpose. And they tell you what to juice and what to eat so that you get rid of this inflammation.
And get the right vitamins in you. I know we were going to go on to another topic today, but I kind of want to stay on the topic if you don't mind, because I think not only eating right and putting more fruits and vegetables in your diet, I think we should discuss that not all fruits and vegetables are the same. Some are full of pesticides.
Well, that's important because
some are genetically engineered.
Yeah, there are some things that are really important to know. And what scares me is we often forget what these things are. For example, I was reading on the internet about the health issues about pesticides. And that's why Hungry for Change is being put out there. The Monsanto Corporation, which makes most of the seeds for most of the farms in America and many around the world, have genetically engineered and modified the seeds so that pest control is already in them. So when a corn cob starts to form on the plant, and that's when the bugs start to come, and when the tomatoes start to bloom and you have tomatoes on the vine, then these bugs decide, well, gee, it looks like fruit's coming, let's go have a bite. As soon as the worm eats the corn kernel, they die.
Right.
So it makes me want to know from Monsanto, hey guys, what are you putting in your seed?
What happens when I eat a corn kernel?
And is this making me sick after how many corn on the cobs you're going to eat, you know? And in your lifetime, they always say, well, you know, you can go on websites, Americans eat, you know, 46 pounds of sugar a year. Well, how many corn on the cobs do you eat in a year? How much pesticide are you putting in your body? So I went to a website that talks about produce with the highest level of pesticides. And on that list, at the top of the list, is peaches. And then apples. Bell peppers, green and red. Celery. Nectarines.
I never eat the skin of an apple.
See, this is another issue. If you are going to eat any fruit in its whole, like a strawberry, for example, cherries, nectarines, anything that you're going to take a bite out of and eat the whole thing, you need to buy organic produce that's certified organic, that there has not been pesticides in the ground or on the plant or in the seeds. Because Monsanto has already genetically engineered these things, not only to grow more of them, more corns on the cob, on the plant, more tomatoes on the vine,
but to withstand
the bugs eating it. If it's going to kill the bugs, what's it going to do to me?
And the Roundup. They genetically engineered the seeds and the plant so you can spray Roundup to kill the weeds, but the Roundup no longer kills the plant.
That's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how you find out from Food Matters film as they go through the country and investigate the seeds being made. Now, when I lived in New Zealand, they have a policy of no GM foods. There won't be any genetically engineered modified foods in that country because they're huge produce, you know, and everybody's got farms there. And what I loved about New Zealand, you can walk around the block and get all the food you need for the week just from your neighbors because everybody's growing stuff. But so anything you're going to eat in this country, you don't buy anything that's typically got pesticides. Make sure you buy organic. Because cherries, kale, lettuce, all these things are going to have pesticides. Grapes imported from Mexico and Chile, which I found in Sprouts and Henry's, you know, the organic stores. They're selling grapes from Mexico and Chile that are sprayed with pesticide. Carrots, pears, potatoes, they're all pesticide in this country. So the produce with the lowest levels of pesticide, which is very interesting, are onions. Well, who wants to eat an onion in the ground? Bugs don't want to eat onions anyway. I love onions. So produce for the lowest levels are onion, avocado, sweet corn, pineapple, mango, asparagus, sweet peas, kiwis, cabbage, eggplant, papaya, watermelon, and broccoli. Here we go. Here's the broccoli in the drink this morning.
I'm a big broccoli eater, but I'm not juicing.
If you saw this and you tasted it, you go, wow, that's got a couple of apples. It's got broccoli. It's got grass, wheatgrass, and I can give you the big list, but
it's good for you.
Kale, and all that stuff. It tastes really good. I can get addicted to this stuff, but it's so expensive. It's like $10 a bottle in the store, but if you make it yourself, it costs you more than $10 to buy the ingredients.
Right.
You're talking about, you know, there's 2 apples in every drink, right? There's broccoli in every drink. There's, you know, pineapple, like, I don't know how big of a section of pineapple, but there's all these fresh fruits in there. And it tastes wonderful, and it's like, wow, green machine.
Very cool.
Banana, you know, apples, the whole deal. So, again, if you want produce with the lowest level of pesticides, you don't have to worry too much about onions. Most people are going to cook onions anyway. Avocados, because you scrape it out of the shell.
Right.
Pineapple, of course, it's got a skin on it, the covering that you take off. Mangoes, you scoop out of you don't eat the skin on a mango. Asparagus, of course, high in fiber, tons of vitamins and minerals. But what I found out is that by juicing a little bit, you have to really watch those calories. Juice has a lot of sugar in it, and if you're diabetic, you can't have a bunch of sugar, so you got to use things like Granny Smith apples,
right,
and lower sugar type stuff, and put more veggies in it, for example. And the other thing I do is I take the seeds out of tomatoes, because it's pretty easy to cut up a tomato in quarters and just take the seeds out. We don't grow seeds in our body. Why should we eat them? Some of them don't pass through our colon very well because I've got diverticulosis, and I don't want anything to get caught in those little pockets.
Right.
So, I do things to make my life easier. I don't want any more infections. I don't want any more problems. So, eat organic.
And we're both getting healthier.
We're both getting healthier. I've lost some weight. You've lost some weight. I'm able now, like when I first started this thing at 250, I could not walk down the street farther than about 20, 30 feet, and I'd turn around and come home. It was discouraging. But every day I went further, and now I'm walking 2.5 to 3 miles a day.
That is excellent.
I got rid of the car, and I'm walking more just because I want to, and I'm taking the bus. My total bus cost is $18 a month for fuel and getting around the county where I need to go to my medical appointments or whatever I'm doing to meet with my friends. And I don't have these extra, the stress of driving is amazing, and I got rid of it by walking more and taking the bus. And people, at first I thought, I'm not going to be a very good bus person because I want control. I want to drive where I want to drive. I want to go where I want to go. I haven't lost any freedom. I go out the door and walk where I want to go to the store, do my thing, and I can walk to the beach in about 20 minutes, be on the beach.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And what has made me healthy now, I'm only walking 3 miles a day, but I'm walking fast, and I'm, breathing.
You're getting there.
My breathing is better. I have sleep apnea at night, so I used to have the sleep machine.
Well, this has been very good for our first episode, and I know that we can talk a lot more, and we have a million more things we want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't want to keep everyone watching us for 3 hours. So I think this was a very good start with a lot of helpful information.
Yeah.
So I think we'll cut it here. And until next time, this will be posted on talk.podzone.net probably tomorrow.
Great.
For everyone to see. I'm William Manold, and this is
George Nassif.
Until next time, we'll see you later.
Take care, Bill.
All right.